afternoon, guys. What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. I'm sure most of you guys are like, Greg, it's been 2 or 3 days. Where have you been, man? Well, as you can tell, I'm still sick. I finally bit the bullet today, and I went to the doctor's. I got some medicine because, you know, all the over-the-counter stuff just wasn't kicking it. I hung in as long as I could. I hate going to the doctor's. Paying your copay, the whole thing's dumb. But I gave in. We got some medicine. Hopefully we feel better. But nevertheless, we were here yesterday. But guys, we're getting there. Lights are done. Electric's done. We were here yesterday. We got the banners hung. We got the cabinets hung back on the wall. We are slowly but surely making this home base. Still disorganized a little bit here and there, but we're getting close. We need to get back to work. So we even, where am I? Oh, there we go. There we go. Opposite. We even got the GREGA delete sign hung right, of course, right in the bathroom. But today is the day that we get this engine block out of the bathroom. We stuck the engine block in there because we had nowhere else to put it with all the crap here, but today is the day the engine block comes out. We have our wall of fame and wall of shame of broken parts. It's time to get this out of here because we finally have our mid plate here and our new adapter plate. They are in. We are going to throw the mock-up block, which is now the blown-up block, and our trans along with our new mid plate, our new adapter plate. We're going to get them in. We're going to get our new cab mounts. These are brand new cab mounts because our other ones look like crap. So the mid plate we have been waiting for basically kind of attaches and becomes, it bolts in and out, but nevertheless kind of becomes part of like a frame. But it's milled, basically it's attached. Let me pop her around here. So our good friends from Fleece Performance got this knocked out for us. They got this water jetted out, and it is the same overall diameter, everything inside here. They then milled down the adapter plate to make sure that they are taking up the same exact space. That way our spacing for, you know, our flywheel, our torque converter, our starter, they're all exactly the same as our OEM one, just with this mid plate sandwiched in between there. So we'll get that in there. I'll kind of show you guys how it works and how it's going to get fabbed in there. But this needed to come in so we could get that all hooked up in here before I go ahead and put the cab back on, because there's no point in putting the cab back on until we got this pretty much in here, because it's a lot easier to work beforehand. So anyway, that is where we are starting off this evening. I have had quite a few questions in the past about these cabinets and the lights. A lot of questions about the lights. I'm going to put the information down in, you can pretty much get everything off of Amazon Prime, of course. I mean, the world wouldn't run without Prime. But all the information will be down in the links. I'll get the exact models and everything, and I'll put them down below. That way you guys can check out the specs. And if you want to get the same lights, go right ahead. I think they're awesome. I think these lights are insane. I probably, when we move, next shop, whatever it may be, I'm going to take these with me, obviously, and probably get the same exact ones. These things are insane. As you can see, we are not running the middle row there because you don't even need it. It's not even needed. A little bit on the pricier side, but well worth the investment. Let's put it that way. You're not going to need anything. So again, huge thank you to Steve at ASI. I'm dying. I'm dying. Huge thank you to Steve, man. He really hooked it up. Everything just came together so awesome. I'm so pumped. Anyway, let's get back to work. All right, guys, so first stopping point here, I just want to point out one quick thing. You can kind of see here, and you can kind of see here right on the back of the engine block. Obviously, we don't have, you know, anything on the back here, the rear main seal, the crank. Obviously, we don't need any of that for this mock-up. But what we do need to make sure of is that we align up these dowels. As you can see, when it was sitting kind of like right here, you can kind of see these specific ones, as opposed to this, have that little cutout for your little sleeve here. Dowel, alignment dowel, that's what it's called. We're gonna put another bolt on the top there just so it stabilizes itself and it's kind of wobbly up on the jack here, the hoist, but just make sure those are lined up when you are putting the bolts in, and obviously try and seat that first before you go ahead and put your bolts in. Never try and draw it in with the bolts. Obviously, pulling the engine up, seeing that this isn't a ton of weight, but doing it with the stock head bolts, obviously not really the best way to do it, but it's what's getting the job done tonight, guys. Alrighty, guys, we got our man, Muscle Man Andy Savage here giving us a hand. We got the...
What's up, y'all?
We got the adapter plate on there, bolted on. Got the engine and the frame rails. Everything seemed to be going smoothly until we got the mid plate here. Started getting it situated on the dowels, and noticed that it is quite a bit tight here. Oop, 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 oop. Gotta get your towel. Gotta get your towel down. Make sure your butt don't get dirty.
Clean booty.
So we're gonna try and mock this up for you guys just to show you. We got the basically appropriate clearance room on that side, and then this side you can kind of see we're quite a ways away. Now, before I go with the grinder, we are just going to call in the morning. There might be like a different variation of the burnout for a different vehicle that this is kind of made for. So we're just going to check it. It might actually just be made wider for if this is for like maybe like a 6.7 frame or a 5.9 frame, but we're not sure before we go ahead and cut it, which we're probably going to have to do just to make, you know, our inch clearance, just like on this side here. That's kind of what you're looking for. And then what you're going to do is we're going to build like little brackets off the frame that are going to bolt this to there, and then throw the trans in on the cross member here. That's why we got that in there. So that's kind of where we're at. So instead of going with the grinder first, we're just going to make one phone call. We got the engine, you know, tilted kind of correctly, in the engine mounts correctly, but we're just going to double check that one thing. We're going to go with throwing the cab mounts on for now. We're actually supposed to get some snow, so therefore we need to go back and show you guys the home garage and show you what that looks like, because Andy's been reworking it, getting the mega cab in there, but we need to make sure the wife wagon can get in there, and it's a little bit Greg might have made it a little bit of a mess when we left. So we're gonna do this quick and then head back.
Warm it up.
Alrighty, so got the cab mounts on, all bolted up. Just got the new bolts just kind of resting in there for now until we get ready the cab to get put back on. So I'm not really actually sure if I explained the whole purpose of why we're putting a mid-plate in this truck. If you guys have ever watched a chassis dyno of a truck, you usually know like the hood's open. You can kind of see if you have weaker engine mounts, you can kind of see when the engine torques up on these things, you can kind of see it kind of like lifts up real hard. Now, when you start getting into big power and like solid engine mounts, I guess what has been happening is when the engine really torques up real hard, it tries to pull the bolt where it kind of sandwiches in between the frame rail, tries to pull that out. So what the mid plate is basically making sure that the engine, when it does try and torque up, everything kind of stays planted and stays put. So if I didn't explain that in the beginning, there's just a brief little explanation. But that's pretty much, before, like I mentioned, before we go ahead and use the grinder, which I have no problem doing, just want to double check, make sure everything that I'm checking is good. I even checked it on the 05 over here, and it still seems to be kind of like the same. So I'm positive that there's no issue with the frame rails on this truck. But anyway, not a whole lot of action. Still not feeling quite 100% yet. So we're gonna go home. We're gonna make sure that the wife's got a place to park tonight, and that's about it. So we're gonna head home. One quick thing I do want to mention beforehand, because I think I forgot to mention in the beginning of this video as well. Motorama coming up February. Make sure you're there. Me, Mikey G, I think John Muldoon's going to be there, a bunch of other guys. I'm sure the whole Street Speed gang is going to be there too if you guys watch them. So we're going to be there, we're going to be set up, it's going to be awesome, it's going to be a great weekend. Make sure you guys mark it off your calendars. It's a great event to go to, even if you don't even care about meeting any of us. It's a good event to attend to see trucks, cars, and a whole bunch of other motorsport stuff. So the other thing, I've been getting a lot of emails about these gray and black hoodies and the flag hoodies. We are currently out of stock on a couple little things. That is all going to be restocked, and I'm hoping maybe we'll do something cool for Motorama with Wrenchwork. So make sure you stop by. All right, let's go back to the house. Alrighty, and we are back home. Are you ready to see the new GREGA home garage? I think Andrew's got the heater going on in here. Alrighty, so as you can see, things look just a little bit different in here, a little different. We got the mega cab in here. Like we mentioned before, Andy is going to be changing up some of the things in the engine bay. We are kind of debating on, he was kind of debating on selling the truck at one point. We are now keeping it, but it's in here for the winter time to make some winter changes. We've got a little bit, you know, of the normal little rust bubbling starting to happen. So he's going to take care of that, take care of a couple different paint things, and change up the wheels and tires for next year. So that's kind of the reason why it's in here. He's also going to be doing a couple things to his bike, maybe putting a motorcycle lift in here, all while still trying to maintain Allie's pull-in if it snows kind of area. Now, with the dogs, and I know some of you guys are saying, why isn't she in here permanently? She doesn't want to be in here permanently. Now, if you kind of followed the channel for a little while, say you were parked in here, you had your hands full, and you wanted to get into the house. You got to come up these, now mind you, she usually has the dogs with her. You got to come up these 2 steps, make your way through this doorway, kind of come up through here, come up through those steps, and then make it through not only 1 door, but 2 doors, and then get inside the house, versus just pulling up to our little driveway here, going up 1 set and right into the house. So that is honestly what she actually preferred and wanted to do. But she did ask that we make some room before it snows. And today it's going to snow, or tonight it's going to snow. So we got to move this bench top. As you can see, this is still kind of my junk that we still haven't moved over there yet, and some straps that are mine in the way. pretty much gonna wrap up this video. I know it was short, I know it was quick. I still kind of feel like, kind of feel like crap, but I'm not complaining. Hopefully the medicine kicks in and we will just wake up feeling like $1 million tomorrow. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Nevertheless, we got more work to do. Hit that like button before you leave. Subscribe if you have not already. See you.